Our first individual here, as we can see, appears to be a young lady. As we are looking here, she appears to be sleeping while standing up. She has been abandoned by her family and friends, and she is now a lost soul surviving day by day. One of the most common side effects of drugs is a loss of balance. As I was driving along, I came across two young ladies here. As I got closer, they became aware of my presence, so I reached for my phone and pretended to be on a phone call to make them feel more at ease. The first lady decides to go for a walk across the street, most likely to retrieve some of her belongings. The second lady here appears to be doing her usual routine as she goes to get her belongings. The first lady has retrieved her belongings and is returning back to her friend. The life of Kensington Avenue is never easy. They have realized my presence and are agitated at this point. I decided to leave them alone and drive away. As we can see, we have a young man who is under the influence of drugs. The lady on the left decides to get up and go about her business. Before she went on her way, the lady who had crossed the street to get her belongings informed her that she was being recorded, so I left the scene and drove away. Another common side effect of drugs is that they cause you to see things that aren't actually there. Even though life on Kensington Avenue is a tough one must still attend to their personal care and self-grooming needs. She is almost ready to begin her day. Getting food can become a challenge in the streets of Philadelphia. One must carefully stock up food because dinner is not always promised. Sharing food is almost difficult when it's not enough. Socialization is essential for maintaining a sense of well-being. Individuals can be found gathered under the bridge here, talking about their day. One must be cautious about who they talk to, as this can lead to arguments and violence. When there is no one to lend a helping hand, life can become much more difficult. It's the survival of the fittest in this time around. As we can see here, we have a young lady who seems to be hurt by the negative aspects of life, and her only resource and protection at this time are the two men here. But it's the best she can do for the time being. What leads people towards this way of living is a combination of an abusive past, a lack of someone to turn to in difficult times, and a financial crisis. She appears to be enjoying the weather today. We'll leave her alone for now. This is one of the places where people can call home. Individuals who are homeless and without a place to stay are housed in those tents. Times can be rough, but for now, a tent will do. One disadvantage of using the tents is that if it gets windy outside, the tents will tend to tip over. Despite the fact that it is slightly breezy outside, today is a good day for them to rest. Today appears to be a lovely day. As we can see here, there is an older gentleman who appears to be carrying out his humanitarian duties by providing food and drinks to the young lady. With such a selfless act, there appears to be hope for the people who live here today. Socialization and regular conversations throughout the day help to keep insanity at bay. A chair would be a good idea for this individual here. We hope the side effect wears off so that he can make tomorrow a new start. It is time to move along. Even though the challenges of making a living in these conditions are difficult, making new friends and having good conversation alleviates the pain and provides a sense of belonging. Let's move along. Hello there. Today is not the day. We understand. Kensington is a Philadelphia neighborhood with a higher crime rate than the national average. West Kensington, East Kensington, Fairhill, Port Richmond are all part of the Kensington neighborhood. It is well known for its alarming heroin problem, which has earned it the moniker Walmart of heroin. by himself with nobody around to show him the potential that he has within himself. However, the day must continue to move forward. Kensington Avenue is widely regarded as the East Coast's largest outdoor heroin narcotic markets. When Kensington was de-industrialized in the 1950s, it transformed from a blue-collar factory neighborhood to a drug-infested city. As the city's financial investments dwindled, the drug market stepped in to fill the economic void. In addition to drug users, Kensington now attracts drug tourists, or people looking for the cheapest and most potent drugs from all over the country. Kensington drugs have wreaked havoc on Philadelphia residents. Since 1994, the city's drug overdose rate has tripled, tripling the numbers of homicides and exceeding the numbers of AIDS-related deaths. Because of the area's drug problems, its crime rate is the third highest in the city, at 1.21%. It's not uncommon to see people injecting heroin and nodding off on the sidewalk in the middle of the day in this part of Philadelphia. Despite the passage of time since the beginning of the opioid epidemic, the COVID-19 pandemic has only exacerbated the country's drug problem. In 2020, there are expected to be 88,000 reported drug overdose deaths, a 27% increase from the previous year. First to know at SBC News.